How'd everyone pull up, John?
Yeah, I think everyone's pulled up pretty well. I mean, we've got obviously another 6-day break, so we're mindful of that. Chad Warner's got a bit of a sore spot on his leg, so we'll just have a look at that. But other than that, I think everyone's pretty good.
Will the shorter break make it harder for Tom and Isaac to get up for the game, or
No, we expect them to be right. Yeah. So I think most of the boys are okay. They're running around today and look quite good. So we won't be doing a lot training wise, but we'll get into the right space. Obviously Hawthorn are coming off the break, and we'll make sure that our boys are right mentally this week to take on the Hawks on Friday.
How's the toll of the season overall on the playing group, John? Hopefully they're 4 quarters away from needing a break, but I mean we're
No, I think it is what it is. They're pretty good. I mean, I think there's a reality of what happens in season when you get into sort of that June-July period, that you just got to get into it and lean right into that period of the year. And that's we've been fortunate to be able to play some games here, and so you just jump into it and you deal with what's in front of you. So no, they're generally pretty good. I mean, the younger boys have had some breaks. We've managed those guys, but generally they're pretty good.
You always want to bank 4 points, but how important is it? I mean, we don't know what's going to happen with the COVID situation. If there is a stretch of games in Sydney that you do kind of make sure you take full advantage.
Yeah, well, I guess it doesn't matter. I guess it can be that it doesn't matter where the game is. You still got to win it, and you still got to go about it. And we thought the Saints had a real crack on the weekend, and we were able to get over the line, and it just reinforces the focus has to be week by week, and quarter by quarter, contest by contest. You have to be really focused on what's immediately in front of you, and that's from a player's perspective and from a coach's perspective. So we don't actually sit back and sort of look too far into the future, because it's just the contest and the battle is always just the next step in front, and that's what we've just got to be mindful of.
John, as you kind of alluded to there, and you had another close contest against the Saints. Could have gone either way in the last couple of minutes. Any idea why you've had so many close games this year?
Well,
there has been a lot.
Yeah, there has been a lot. We pride ourselves on being in most games, and I think that's something that we want to understand. We'd like to be able to, if we got in front, to be able to continue, getting further in front. But the reality is, there's an opposition out there. They're having a crack. They're having a go. We've been able to change the momentum when the opposition have gained it at different times during the course of the game. So, we think that's just our ability to stay in games and hang in games right to the end has been a positive for us, and we need to make sure that we've won some really tight ones. We've lost a couple, but if you're in it up until the last minute or 2 minutes of the game, that's where you want to be. You don't want to be sitting there, halfway through the last quarter saying you're no chance to having a win. You want to be in it right up to your eyeballs, right to the last minute, and we've been able to do that, and that's not an easy thing to do.
And all these close games, I guess it's an opportunity to keep reviewing them and learning from them and improving in the way that you tackle them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all games are like that anyway, and so you just look at it every week along those lines of keep learning, no matter whether you win, lose, draw, or otherwise. You just keep looking at it that way to try and keep learning. But we've been able to look at the last few weeks and some good things that we do and some room for improvements, and hopefully that holds us in good stead as we head into another tough game this week.
A couple of younger, tall guys coming back in the team this week, in Logan and Joel.
Yeah.
Logan after a few weeks out. What's the main things that you want him to work on as he assesses the game?
I just think he just keeps developing as a younger tall. There's not a lot of young talls come in ever in their first years and play every game and just keep on going up. Development's not part of you go up and then you go back a little bit and then you go forward again, and that's part of Logan's development. In a physical sense, just getting stronger and understanding what his body can and can't do, and so that's been part of what he does. We know he's a very smart player. He's able to find space. He's a beautiful kick, and so as a key forward, the more physical and stronger that he gets over the years, the better he'll be. Now that doesn't happen overnight. That'll get there though.
Is that something that you're looking to do structurally with playing 3 tools up front?
It just depends a little bit on the matchups. We were able to play. We brought Armity in on the weekend, and he was able to play a pretty important role for us, both up forward and in the ruck. And we haven't done it a lot this year. The 3 tools. We did it on the weekend and thought it was okay. And so it just depends on the mix of the forward line at that particular moment, and who's our second ruck option. Those are the things that we sort of consider going into the game. And last week it worked well. It doesn't mean it's going to be an automatic thing every week. And other matchups it creates on Heaney and Hayward and those guys as well come into it.
With Warner, is that a workload issue or just a collision?
No, he just had a bit of a sore spot for a couple of weeks on his leg, and so he may not play this week. He might be just one of those other younger boys that's we're conscious of a few of them earlier. Goulden and Campbell getting those sort of workload issues, and one of the things about playing younger players, and it's great and it's fantastic, but you still need to be mindful that they're still growing, and they're still developing, and Chad's in his second year, so if that means he doesn't play this week and has a week off, well, then we're looking to be able to develop him short term, medium term, and longer term.
It's a weird season, but it's Friday night. Still carry the same gravitas. I expect to get some of those young guys who sort of real chance to kind of handle that. Not quite finals like pressure, but the Rays and sort of rivals and all that sort of stuff.
Friday night, Saturday afternoon, Sunday. It's they're all important. They're all big games, and nothing changes that from that aspect. They're all important games. This week's no different. I don't get too caught up on it too much. Put one game at a different time slot more important than another. They're all important, and we'll have to compete to play well.
On the success of the Dreamtime game in the West, so it took a bit of discussion about where the grand final should be played if it can't be played in Melbourne, which obviously we're all hoping it can be. But what do you think the state government and even footy fans in New South Wales can do to make sure we have a hat in the ring if that comes out?
I haven't spent much time thinking about it, to be honest. First and foremost, I'm hoping that Victoria get things, things get back on track in Victoria. I think that's what I'm hoping. That's what I think everybody in the community is hoping, that things go well in Victoria. Now, what happens from that football-wise is, I think that's something for others to sort through. I've just got my focus on the Hawks this week.
Is Sam Reid a sort of chance to come back post-bye, or is he still?
Oh, I hope so, because I hope he comes back at some point post-bye. But he's not doing it. He's just started to do a bit now, so he's starting to do a bit more. But it's a number of weeks away. We need to get him. He's getting stronger in his calf. It's healing. It's getting stronger, and then we need to be running and then training. So he's still a number of weeks away.
And any clearer on Melican's time frame?
He'll be the same. He'll be after the bye as well. So he's coming on quite well. But those two, Errol, Campbell, will be the ones that'll be coming back after the bye.
And Nick Blake got to knock in the twos. Is he sweet as far as
he's all good. Yeah, no, he feels fine. Yep.
John, are there positives for footy in Sydney at the moment, though, out of the current situation? I mean, you had a great game across town the other night, game here, then you got, I think it's Queen's birthday coming up, so blockbusters here. Is this going to be a good period for just proving or fostering a little bit of that support?
Well, yeah, I'm very conscious of making sure you don't, you don't sort of pump up the positives in regards to other people's being away from family and friends, like the Victorian teams are experiencing at the moment, or their local supporters not being able to see them. So I'm conscious of that. But there is from football in this state, to be able to have so much content here for a number of weeks. We saw it last week in Queensland. Hopefully there's some benefit of that. But I'm also, as you can imagine, conscious that it's tough for a lot of people as well, and a lot of people make a lot of sacrifices to keep the competition going, and that can't be ignored.
Simon mentioned he's keen for the SCG to be sold out for that game. Will you be buying a ticket, and do you think something like that's possible? Simon Goodwin, the Queen's birthday one.
Oh, that'd be great. It'd be fantastic. I mean, we saw with the Dreamtime game over in Perth, and I think it's great to be able to, footy fans, to be able to come along to the SCG and watch a number of teams play. And once again, it's off the back of some heartache in Victoria. But if we can get some people along here and more interested in footy, the better.
Lance better than anyone. Is playing Hawthorn carry additional meaning? Do you get a sense in the week is anything different?
Oh, it's been a while. I think he's been here a while now. I think it's not the first time he's played against the Hawks. So, he prepares as he prepares against anyone now. He's pulled up really well. He was good today moving around, so that's a good sign.